She's on YouTube.
Okay, good afternoon, bowling fans, and welcome to Strike Zone Alleys here in Pottsville, PA, for the three-game stepladder finals of our unique Scotch doubles event for today, sponsored by Kegler's Pro Shop. Time to introduce our four remaining teams in each division, who will compete in a stepladder format, fourth seed versus the three, winner bowling the two, and winner bowling the one for the title. All right, starting with the scratch division, our number 4 seed team is Primo Kadawas and Mason Smith. In the first match, they'll be taking on our number 3 seeds, Amelia Mitzgavich and Lena Kranzer. Winner of that match will advance to the semifinal to take on our number 2 seed, Clay Thomas and Blaze Denny. And the winner of that semifinal match will take on our tournament leaders at plus 427 for 14 Scotch double games. Our tournament leaders, Andrew Sass and Ryan Schultz. Bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our scratch finalists for this afternoon BJBT. Okay, now it is time to introduce our 4 handicap finalist teams. Our number 4 seed is Anna Powers and Jennifer Reitnauer. In the first match, they'll be taking on our number 3 seed, Jason Smith and Caleb Vaught. Winners of that match will advance to the semifinal to take on our number 2 seeds, Rusty Crown and Vinny Picillo. And the winner of that semifinal match will take on our tournament leaders at plus 178 for 14 Scotch double games, Lila Elensky and Kira Stohora. Bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our handicap finalists for this afternoon's BJBT. All right, we will begin our quarterfinal matches.
All right, good afternoon, bowling fans. So as everybody's warming up for the first game of our stepladder finals, I'm going to go over some upcoming events. Next week, Sunday, March the 3rd, we are at our spring 3-person team event at Clearview Lanes. That is a 10 a.m. start. Don't forget the early deadline is at 11:59 p.m. tonight. And I do recommend, highly recommend, signing up in advance because usually we do sell out this event. Plus the first 32 bowling teams that do sign up are able to bowl on the same lane. We can take up to 42, but those bowlers, so if a team signs up after I would get the 32 lanes filled, then they would bowl, one team member would bowl on lane 1, lane 2, and lane 3. That's how it goes until a whole field of 42 is filled. So I highly recommend getting your entries in advance as soon as possible to me online on our website. Then the following Sunday, March 10th, is our major. It's combined event with the NJYBT tour. So we're going to have 2 tours. It's going to be at Haja Rose Bowl in Allentown. That's a 10 a.m. start. That is on one of our Kegel PJBT created patterns. I don't know which one that is. You have to come and find out. Then Sunday, March 17th on St. Patrick's Day is our Super Adult Junior event. And I am to pass along that event is going to be a venue change. It will be announced on our Facebook page and announced on our website in this coming week. Summit Lanes is having a little bit of issue with their scoring, so unfortunately we will not be able to go to Summit Lanes. But don't worry, we will have information on our new host center this coming week. Then the following Saturday, yes, I said Saturday, Saturday, March 30th, is our PJBT Easter Classic Tournament. It's the left lane, right lane event, and that is at Jordan Lanes and Whitehall, and that's a 2 p.m. start time. Obviously, it's a Saturday because Sunday is Easter.
Okay, Stacy, did you explain to our bowling fans what Scotch doubles is?
No, I left that for you. I went over upcoming events.
Oh, okay. All right, so bowling fans, for your Scotch doubles today, let's explain what Scotch doubles is. Each team will pick a bowler to make the first shot of the first frame of the match, okay? And they will alternate shots every single shot. So, if the leadoff bowler gets a strike, then their partner will get to start the second frame. However, if the first bowler leaves a spare of any sort, then the second bowler has to make their spare. And the first bowler then throws the first shot for the second frame, and vice versa. So it continues to alternate. Even in the 10th frame, if they're going to get 3 strikes, whoever's the first bowler gets a strike, the second bowler has to take the second shot, and vice versa. So they will continue to do that during the finals. They'll pick a bowler to start the first shot of the first frame, but they will alternate shots every frame. Okay? So we'll be getting started with match 1 here momentarily.
for today's PJBT. On the scratch side, we have number 3 seed, William Miscavige and Lena Kratzer, taking on number 4 seed, Remo Gonzalez and Mason Smith. Remo and Mason are going to start the match on lane 7. Mason's going to go first, and Melia first for their team. On the handicap side, we have number 3 seed, Jason Smith and Caleb Vaught, taking on number 4 seed, Anna Powers and Jennifer Reitnauer. Jason and Caleb have elected to have their opponents. Anna and Jen start the match on lane 9. And Jen will go first for their team, and Jason will go first for their team. And the difference in handicap is 27 going to Anna and Jen. All right, bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our quarterfinalists.
All right, bowling fans, here we go. Off and running. Watch carefully. We'll help you with the scoring, being the monitors aren't big today. First shot for Jen leaves a 7-pin. So now Anna will have to step up and make her spare. Mason starts with a strike. Amelia Miscavige, first shot for them with a strike. Okay, so on the handicap side, the girls started with 9 spare. Want to thank our 58 bowlers who came out today, 29 teams. And a strike for the team of Smith and Vaught. Now because he got a strike, Caleb will step up for frame 2. Lena left a 10-pin. Melia picks up the spare 4. Nine count in the second. No. So Jason will try to pick up the spare. Primo's first shot. Comes in high, leaves a 3-6. So his partner, Mason, will try to pick it up. Again, alternate shots, every shot for the Scotch doubles. Jason not able to convert, 28 in the second for them. Meanwhile, Mason Smith picks up the spare, even scoreboard after 2. Strike spare for both teams. Jennifer gets an 8 count, leaving the 4-7 in frame 2. So Anna will try to pick up her spare. Remo crosses over, gets a strike in the third. Stacy, did you tell our bowling fans out there today about today's pattern?
No, I left that to you.
Today's pattern was a recreational pattern. We bowled on Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street was a 40-foot pattern. Lena Kratzer crosses over, leaves a 3-pin that Melia will try to convert. Anna converted Jen's spare in the second. She throws a good shot, but leaves a 10 pin. So now Anna will have to pick up the spare. It's all about teamwork with a Scotch doubles format. You think you can pick up all my spares there, Stacy?
Yeah, okay. I've seen some nasty spares you leave on a Tuesday.
I figured you'd say that. No conversion there for Anna Powers. 46 in the third, 73 with her handicap.
I think if
Lena comes in high, leaves a 10 pin. She gets a fortunate kick out of the 4 pin, leaving the 10.
If there was an adult Scotch doubles partner, I would like to partner with my husband.
Sure, maybe.
No, I would.
Caleb bought with a strike in the third. Amelia picks up the spare. So again, we bowled 14 games of qualifying. In theory, it was 7 games per bowler, like a normal singles format. They bowled 2 games in a bay before they moved. So being each bowler bowled a half a game theoretically per game, we bowled double the amount of games. Took about the same amount of time. Strike in the handicap side. Mason Smith with a strike and scratch. 8 count for Jen Reitnauer. Anna will try to pick up her spare. One thing about this format is, like for the girls here, Jen's thrown every first shot until she gets a strike. Primo with a strike in the 5th. Their team has an early lead in the match. Anna gets 1, so 55 in the 4th, 82 with her handicap. So we have a total of $1,700 in prizes to give away today. Woo! Somebody on our message board says they would like to see in a Scotch Adult Junior.
You know who that is?
Who?
That's Pete Kapuscinski.
Wow.
Pete, I don't think that would be a bad idea.
Pete, I think it's hard enough to keep the kids from confusing it. The adults will probably confuse it even more.
Yeah, but if Pete says it's a good idea, then I think it might be a good idea.
We'll think about it.
Maybe that'll be on our bucket list, Pete, for next year.
Amelia picks up another spare. 9 count for Jen Reitnauer. Anna picks up her spare. So now the team of Smith Vaught have a double working 34th. Lena steps up in the 6th, trying to get a strike to flip the script. Comes in light, leaves a 4-8. Big strike there for Caleb Vaught. That's 3 in a row for Smith Vaught. Meanwhile, on the scratch side, the team of Mickiewicz and Kratzer strike in the first, all spares at the moment, while their opponents still on 280 pace. Strike spare 3 in a row. Amelia picks up the spare.
She's getting good use of her spare ball right now.
She is, but that script can flip very quickly.
That it can.
Jason Smith up in the 6th. He crosses over, almost looked like he got a strike. But he got a 9 count, leaving the 10 pin. So Caleb will try to pick up the spare. Mason Smith up in the 6th for scratch.
Oh,
Mason
break.
out of trouble. Saw the 7-10 for a moment.
Yes, we did.
The messenger took the 10 out. Spare 4, Smith Vaught, so they have 107 in the 5th. And with the handicap, they do have the lead. Halfway through the match. Primo to pick up his partner's spare. They now have 119 in the 5th, so with both teams in a spare in the 6th, the difference is 25. 25-pin lead for Kadawa Smith through 6 frames, as Mason will step up in the 7th. Meanwhile, on the handicap side, Jen right now are getting another good count, 9 count, leaving the 7-pin. So she'll try to pick up the spare. With a spare, she gets it. We're only separated by 6 pins. 6 pins should be the separation on the handicap side. Strike for Mason Smith in the 7th. So that'll help them maintain a lead. The key is going to be for Lena here to get a strike. Jen with another first ball 8 count, 4-7. So she'll try to pick up the spare. Meanwhile, Lena having trouble getting a strike. She gets another 8 count that Amelia will try to clean up. Anna powers up for the spare. Not able to convert. She gets 1. So they have 101 in the 7th, 128 with her handicap. So they now trail in the match. Amelia picks up the spare. So max score at the moment for Mickiewicz and Kratzer is 222. Their opponents, Kadawa Smith, can still shoot 259. For anybody tuning in, this is our first of 3 stepladder matches, quarterfinal matches for today's unique Scotch doubles event. Crossover strike there for Jason Smith in the 7th. That will extend their lead. Caleb up now in the 8th. A little bit of a delay on the scratch side. I think Lena Kratzer went and grabbed a new ball. She's going to make a ball change here. Yep. Big strike in the 8th for Caleb Vaught. So back-to-back strikes for them. That's 5 out of the last 6. As they have now a commanding lead. Lena makes a ball change. And the ball change did not seem to work as she came up high, 6-7. Amelia will be forced to try to pick that spare up. Same thing on the handicap side. Jen gets an 8 count. Max score for Powers right now or at the moment could be 181 and 27, 208. 208 with the spare. But the Smith boys still on pace to shoot 240. With 1 miss, they would be at 220, so they still have the lead. Mickiewicz 8 miss, 138 in the 8th, so the girls can only max out at 198. Jen up in the 9th frame gets a strike. It's the first strike of the match to flip the script. And Anna will take the first shot in the 10th in a moment. Oh! Primo just hit 10, but he got 9.
Ooh, that might offset.
That 7-pin for Primo came so far off its point that we will have to reset it. Handicap side. Caleb Vaught trying to clean up a single pin spare for Jason Smith. Not able to convert. So 184.
Hold on. Becky, it should be a 7. Oh.
184 in the 9th for Smith Vaught. So with that open, we now can, the handicap match will come down to the 10th frame. So Jason Smith will start it off.
There we go.
First shot in the 10th for Smith. Comes in a little bit high, leaves a 6'10" as he crosses over. So they can max out at 204 now. Now their opponents could strike out and make it interesting. Spare for Mason Smith, so their team can still shoot 239. Okay. Caleb picks up the spare, so Jason will step up for the field goal to put him at 204. 204 would force Powers and Right now are to double in the 10th to have a chance. Primo comes in light 128. Dan.
Danny.
7.
Danny. Seven pin sign.
202 for Smith and Bott.
7.
And Kadawis Smith go 7 miss in the 8th, so still a chance yet. Anna gets her first strike ball of the match, and she puts it in the gutter. So that will end this match. Smith Bott will take the first match. Jump in for the play-by-play there, Stace.
Well, Lena came in a little high, so now Malia's going to have to make her spare. And I can't tell you what happened on the handicap side at the end because I'm too short.
Well, 147 was the scratch score. 174 with a handicap.
Oh, she got 8. Okay.
So final score 202 to 174. Smith Bott will advance to the semifinal match over Anna Powers and Jennifer Right now.
Malia made her spare.
Max score for the girls is going to now be 188. Which even with that, Kadawis and Smith just have to step up in the 10th frame. Lena finally gets her first strike.
She did.
Of the match. Amelia gets a strike, so they're gonna. Those girls will finish in the 180s.
Malia and Lena finished with 186.
So the boys only need 4 pins here to lock up the match. And Primo doesn't make a great shot, but it is certainly good enough. 6 count will lock up the match for them.
Is a winner, winner, chicken dinner.
It is a winner. Final score on the scratch side is going to be 190 to 186. That match got a lot closer than it originally was.
Yes, it did.
But Kadawis and Smith take the victory over Mitskavich and Kratzer. All right, so we're going to give out some awards, and then we'll move on to the semifinal matches. You are watching the PJBT live on YouTube. Stay tuned for our semifinals.
Okay, bowling fans, that concludes our quarterfinal matches for today's PJBT. On the scratch side, finishing in 4th place, receiving a $100 scholarship, 50 per bowler, and a 4th place award goes to the team Amelia Mitscavige and Lena Kraxer. And officially our 4th place finishers in the handicap division, also receiving a $100 scholarship, 50 per bowler, and the 4th place awards goes to Anna Powers and Jennifer Reitnauer. All right, bowling fans, on to our semifinal matches.
So our bowlers are practicing. I'm going to go over again some upcoming events. Next Sunday, March the 3rd, is our spring annual 3-person team event at Clearview Lanes in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. That is a 10 a.m. start. If you are planning on bowling, I highly suggest you sign up as soon as possible. Even by 11:59 tonight, you get the early discount. If not, please sign up as soon as possible. This event usually does sell out. And then the following Sunday, March 10th, it's major number 8 at Haja Rose Bowl. It's the major combined with the NJYBT Tour. That will be on our Kegel created pattern. That is a 10 a.m. start. We're expecting a big turnout for that event as well, so my suggestion is to sign up for that as soon as possible as well. Then Sunday, March 17th, our Super Adult Junior event. There is going to be a change in location, a change in the venue. Please keep an eye on our Facebook page, keep an eye on our website. We will make the announcement as soon as possible of where that is. It should be this coming week. Matt will make that announcement. Again, there is a change in location. It will not be held at Summit Lanes, but it will take place Sunday, March 17th. Then the following Sunday, March 24th, is the girls only tournament number 8 at Sunbury, Strike Zone Lanes in Sunbury, not Pottsville, Sunbury, PA. That is a 10 a.m. start. Then to wrap up the month of March, Saturday, March 30th, is the PJBT Easter Classic tournament at Jordan Lanes. That's the left lane, right lane tournament. That is Saturday because Sunday obviously is Easter, and that is a 2 p.m. start. Please don't forget our message board is live and operational. Also on YouTube, if you subscribe to PJBT Bowling Series, every time we go live, you'll get a notification that we are live. If you're just joining us, this is our finals for our Scotch doubles event. Scotch doubles, what that means is one of the two bowlers on the team picks if they're going to bowl first or bowl second. If the bowler would happen to get, let's say they get a 9 count, then the second bowler in the same frame, so it would be the first frame, they would need to convert that spare. If the bowler gets a strike, then we move on to the second frame and the other bowler would bowl second frame. So depending on how the scores goes, it kind of almost mimics, in a way at times you'll see it'll mimic like a Baker format, but Scotch doubles is just a little bit different. This is our second match of our 3-game stepladder finals. We would like to thank Strike Zone Alleys today and TJ Trout with Kegler's Pro Shop for donating our ball for our ball raffle.
Okay, BJBT fans, it is time to begin our semifinal matches for today's BJBT. On the scratch side, we have number 2 seed Clay Thomas and Blaze Denny, taking on number 4 seed Primo Canales and Mason Smith. Clay and Blaze have elected to have Primo and Mason start the match on lane 7. Mason will go first and Blaze will go first for their team. All right, on the handicap side, we have number 2 seed Rusty Crown and Vinny Pacillo, taking on number 3 seed Jason Smith and Caleb Loft. Rusty and Vinny have elected to start the match. On lane 9, Vinny will throw the first shot. Jason will go first for their team. The difference in handicap is 11, going to Crown and Pacillo. All right, bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our semifinalists.
One frame to start. One ball. I should say one ball. One ball to start. You say one frame, I need to say one ball.
Oh, Matthew.
All right, so we are up to the semifinals. Vinny Pacillo starts us off. And he gets a strike. So a big first shot for their team. First shot for
We started
Mason
a strike
Smith.
on both sides for the first ball.
Yep, Mason Smith starts with a strike. So, difference of only 11 in handicap on the handicap side. So Jason Smith will step up for the first shot for their team for this game. And Blaze Denny will start it off for Thomas and Denny. Blaze gets a 7 count, 4, 7, 8. So Clay will have to pick that up. Smith with a 9 count, 5 pin. So Vaught will have to pick up the spare.
The 7 pins up.
Hold on.
Bye, Taylor.
Becky, add the 7 to lane 8. Add the 7 pin. Caleb picks up the spare. 9 spare in the first. So once again, if you're watching, make sure you tell your friends to tune in. PJBT Finals today from Pottsville, PA, Strike Zone Alleys. Also the host center for our New Year's Eve Day Classic tournament that we had earlier this year. And we have a busy couple of weeks coming up. I know Stacy filled you all in on that, so make sure you sign up in advance at pjbtbowlingseries.com. We expect to be sold out for our next 2 events, the 3-person team event next Sunday and the 8th major of the season in Allentown on March 10th. That one, a combined event with the New Jersey Youth Bowlers Tour that I want to mention had an event today in New Jersey with a sold out 136 entries. So congratulations to them. And a majority of those bowlers will be coming up to Allentown to compete in our major. If we sell out the event, I did post on their page that we are going to give out a $500 scholarship bonus for a 1-game head-to-head roll-off with whoever doesn't make the finals. It's going to be PJBT versus NJYBT. 1-game team match.
And I did already tell our bowling fans about the Super Adult Junior location change.
Yes, Super Adult Junior location is going to be changing. We will verify that this week. So, both teams on handicap with an open in the second. So, 19 for Smith, the team of Smith bought. 28 for Crown Pachillo, 39 with her handicap. So the difference is 20 pins at the moment. Scratch side, Blaze with a 9 count after the open in the first. Clay picked up his spare. Rusty Crown with a good shot, leaves a 7 pin. So Vinny will try to pick up his spare. Primo gets that one wide, leaves the 4-8, so his partner Mason Smith will try to pick up the spare. Mason gets 1, so 28 in the second, both teams with an open in the first 2 frames. Then he picks up the spare in the third.
Primo gets a strike in the third. Blaze is up on lane 8. Jason is up on lane 10. Jason gets 7. Blaze gets 7. Clay will try and make the spare.
always the challenge with this format is when one bowler can't strike, they have to keep
Caleb-
throwing the first ball until
Caleb
they can get a.
Makes the spare on the handicap side on lane 10.
They have to keep shooting the first ball until they can convert.
Good try by Clay to make that spare. He gets 2.
35 in the third for them.
Jason gets a strike.
Kind of a late fall there. They got it.
It was wiggling.
There's a strike for Blaze. First strike of the match for Thomas and Denny. Rusty Crown up in the fourth. Pretty good shot. Oh,
Gets 9.
7-pin. Right now they still have Crown and Pachillo with a slim lead.
Mason gets 9.
That looked like a pretty good shot too.
It was a good shot.
Just didn't get the carry. Pachillo picks up the spare. Scoreboard shows an 8-pin difference at the moment.
Primo makes the spare.
That match is pretty even also. Rusty crosses over, gets a strike. So that will switch the scoreboard for them. As Rusty gets a strike in the fifth. So 67 in the fourth scratch, 78 with the handicap. Caleb Vaught now stepping up, strike working in the fifth. Goes light, 5 count. So Jason will try to pick up his spare. Meanwhile, Mason gets a strike for Kadawas Smith. They have 68 in the fourth. With a strike here, Thomas could line up Thomas and Denny to have 65 in the fourth. So they would trail by 3 with a strike here. Comes up high, crosses over. He's a 5-pin. So Blaze Denny will try to pick up a spare. Meanwhile, Smith Law go 5-4 in the fifth. So they have 67 in the fifth. So they now trail the match. Caleb comes in light, leaves a 2-pin. So Jason will try to pick up a spare. Blaze picks up the spare for their team. 55 in the fourth, spare working. Max score for Thomas Denny at the moment, 225. Kadawa Smith can shoot 248. About halfway through the semifinal match. Thomas now comes in light, leaves a 2-pin. So Blaze will try to pick up the spare. Jason not able to convert. Back-to-back opens for them, 76 in the sixth.
They're currently a different. No.
Again, if you're just tuning in, today's event is Scotch doubles. So if you're not familiar with Scotch doubles, that means partners alternate every shot, not every frame, every shot. So Vinny just got a strike there in the sixth. So now Rusty will throw the first ball of the seventh. You basically alternate shots, every single shot, including the 10th frame.
Primo got a strike.
I don't think the way he wanted to get a strike.
No,
but
but
strike's a strike.
so they have a double now.
Rusty comes in high, leaves the 2-7. So now his partner, Vinny, will have to shoot the spare. Mason Smith up in the 7th, double working for their team. Start to pull away with a strike here. Comes in light and he kicks out the 2-pin. So a big trip on the 2-pin for Mason Smith and 3 in a row for Kadawa Smith.
The difference in handicap on the handicap side is 11 pins that goes to Crown and Pachillo.
Yes, and with their open in the 7th, 134 is their current score with handicap, so max score 224 for them. Smith and Vaught have to get going. Vaught tries to make a really good shot there, leaves a 10-pin.
Strike for Clay.
Yep, good shot there for Clay. So what's tricky about Scotch doubles is you can't get really like hooked up on one lane.
Correct.
You may not throw a first ball for a multiple amounts of frames. We saw that in the first match. It just comes down to how it goes.
Jason Smith misses the spare. So they have 85 in the 7th.
Blaze Denny with a strike. So they finally get their first double of the match. Thomas and Denny can still shoot 214. Their opponent's still on a 220 pace, as they can have one miss and be in the 220s yet. So that's still a match. Caleb Vaught trying to get a strike here on the first ball to flip the script. Comes in light, leaves 245. So Jason will have to try to make his spare. Primo with a strike in the 8th. That gives them 4 in a row. Big shot here in the 9th now for Mason Smith. If he can strike here, pretty much Kadawas and Smith just have to show up in the 10th frame to move on to the title match. Jason Smith picks up the spare. So there's a strike for Mason. So big shots there for Kadawas and Smith. On the handicap side, max score for Smith and Vaught is 165. So Crown and Pachillo in control of this match. Interesting shot there. So an 8 count for Rusty Crown. I think that's actually the 9-pin that slid over. So hopefully we can get that reset. I'm not sure if it's the 6-pin or the 9-pin. Hopefully they can just raise the rack, and then Vinny will shoot the spare. There we go. Blaze comes in light, 245. So max score now 191. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up. Kadawas and Smith are going to advance to the title match to take on our tournament leaders, Sass and Schultz.
Vinny makes the spare. They're at 134. Blaze Denny and Clay Thomas finish with 179. Clay was unable to convert the spare. Rusty gets 9, leaving the 5-pin. Primo gets a strike in the first ball in the 10th. Vinny converts and gets the spare. They're at 153 going into the 10th. Mason gets 9.
There's a strike for Caleb Ball.
Primo misses his spare.
Final score on the scratch side, 236 to 179. Cadawis and Smith from the number 4 seed position will move on to the title match.
They're climbing the ladder.
They will take on our tournament leaders, Andrew Sass and Ryan Schultz. Now on the handicap side, Smith and Vaught need to strike out to give them any mathematical chance. And Smith leaves a 10-pin. So that's going to wrap up the match. Crown and Pachillo will advance to the title match to take on our handicap tournament leaders, Lila Elensky and Kira Stewart.
Caleb Vaught makes the spare. They're at 135. Rusty gets a strike for the first ball in the 10th.
We're going to allow our bowlers to fast track here. So we're finishing up the semifinal matches here for all of our viewers. Almost at the highest viewership we've had all day. So thank you very much. And stay tuned. We'll be having the title match coming up. Smith Vaught finishes the semifinal match with 145 in a losing effort, but a good day. Vinny Pachillo
gets 7. And Rusty
looked like he was practicing the strike shot.
He was. So they end it with a 190. So 190 to 145 for Crown and Pachillo.
Their 190 was actually a 179
scratch. Well, 190 with their handicap.
Yep. All right, that sets the stage for
our title
matches.
We'll give out some awards and we'll be back for our title match.
Okay, bowling fans, that concludes our semifinal matches for today's PJBT. Finishing in third in the scratch division, the team receiving a $150 scholarship certificate and third place plaques goes to Blaze Denny and Clay Thomas. Okay, and officially our third place finishers in the handicap division, getting a $150 scholarship, 75 per bowler, and third place awards goes to the team of Jason Smith and Caleb Vaught. Okay, on to our title matches.
Okay, 3 balls in each lane. Ryan
I know some of you may have heard me say this 3 times now, and I might sound like a broken record when I say this again, but we're going to go over some upcoming events for the viewers that have just popped on within the last match. Next Sunday, March 3rd, is our annual spring 3-person team tournament at Clearview Lanes in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. That is a 10 a.m. start time. I highly suggest you sign up as soon as possible. This event usually does sell out. Early deadline is 11:59 p.m. tonight. Then the following Sunday, major number 8, Sunday, March 10th, is our major that's combined with our NJYBT. That will be at Haja Rose Bowl, and as Matt said earlier, they had an event today, sold out at 136. They're expecting a good bit of their bowlers to come up, so if I were you, I would sign up for that event as early as possible on our website. The following Sunday after that, Sunday, March 17th on St. Patrick's Day, is our Super Adult Junior event. Big thing with the Super Adult Junior event, as I mentioned before, is there is a venue change, a location change for this event. Please, please, please watch our Facebook page and our website. We will have details on the new location as soon as possible, but it will be most likely this week that we will update that change. Then the following Sunday is Sunday, March 24th, which is a girls-only event at Strike Zone Lanes in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. That is a 10 a.m. start time. And then to wrap up the month of March, it is Saturday, March 30th, is our PJBT Easter Classic Tournament at Jordan Lanes in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. That is a 2 p.m. start time, and that is the left lane, right lane event. Once again, our live message board is live and operational. You can wish your bowlers well on there. Have any questions, comments, concerns, we will be happy to answer them. You can get the most update information on our Facebook page at PJBT Youth Information page. If you're just joining us, our scoreboards are a little hard to read, but don't worry, we will help you out with that. Looks like on the handicap side, as long as handicaps are in right, which I believe they are, the difference in handicap on the handicap side for our title match is just 5 pins. That's going to go to Crown and Pachillo. They're just finishing up a couple balls on each lane of practice, and then we'll be down with Matt with introductions.
Starting on the left. Back. Go reverse 7 and 8.
We're going to flip some arrows and down to Matt.
Okay, bowling fans, it is time for our title matches for today's PJBT. On the scratch side, we have top seed Andrew Sass and Ryan Schultz taking on number 4 seed Primo Cadalis and Mason Smith. Andrew and Ryan have elected to have their opponents. Primo and Mason start the match. On lane 7, Mason will throw the first shot for their team and Andrew for theirs. Okay? On the handicap side, we have top seed Lila Elensky and Kira Stahora taking on number 2 seed Rusty Crown and Vinny Pachillo. Lila and Kira have elected to have their opponents. Rusty and Vinny start the match. On lane 9, Vinny will throw the first ball for their team, Kira for their team. And the difference in handicap is just 5 pins going to Rusty and Vinny. All right, bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our finalists.
Okay, title match is underway.
And Mason starts off on the scratch side with a stripe.
Vinny leaves a 7 pin, but
I didn't even.
Rusty not able to convert the spare, so 9 in the first.
I didn't even see Vinny bold.
So our first looks at tournament leaders now. Kira Stahora is going to throw the first shot for handicap. Andrew Sass for scratch. Came up a little bit light, leaving the 5 pin. So Ryan will try to pick that up. Kira Stahora, pretty good shot, leaves the 10 pin. So Lila will try to pick that up. Again, for our bowling fans just tuning in, title match for today's PJBT. It is a unique event. It is our Scotch doubles event. Scotch doubles, and in case you don't know what Scotch doubles is, you have to alternate shots every frame. So it's even within a spare. Like, for example, Andrew Sass left a 5 pin there. His partner has to make the spare. They alternate shots, no matter what frame, what portion of the game they're in.
Lila made the spare on the handicap side for her team.
Yep, and being Lila made that, Kira will have to step up for the first ball now in the second. Andrew doing the same in scratch, gets a strike. So 20 in the first for Sass Schultz. Kira in the second, she gets a strike. So that'll reverse the order for the next frame. Primo in the second. Comes up a little bit flat, leaves a 10 pin. Vinny comes in light, leaving a bucket. 2, 4, 5, 8. So Rusty will try to pick up his spare. As you can see, when one bowler is kind of on a trend of not striking on the first ball, the order does not really switch until they get that strike. Smith picks up the spare. Rusty gets 2. So back-to-back opens for Crown Pichillo to start the match. 17 in the second, 22 with the handicap. So now Primo Kadawa's up in the third. And he gets a strike. Big slider to the right with a lot of friction. Again, Bourbon Street, our pattern for today. 40-foot pattern. Vinny in the third. He gets a strike, and that'll switch the order for them. First mark, first strike of the game for our tournament leaders. Ryan with a strike in the third. So spare double for our tournament leader, Sass Schultz. Lily Lenski, lane 10. She gets a strike. Late falling 5-pin, double. So spare double to start the match for the girls. Andrew with a strike in the fourth. So after starting with a spare, they have 3 in a row. Mason Smith, strike in the fourth. So both of our teams in scratch off and running here in this match. Sass and Schultz still on pace to shoot 290. Kadawa Smith can shoot 280. And a strike for Kira Storora.
That was a couple trip here, trip there.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to leave a 7-pin, but then 4-pin kind of tapped it, took it out. Primo comes in high, 3, 6, 7. So really the first error of the match. Meanwhile, Rusty
Gets 9.
9, yeah, good count. Pretty good shot, actually.
You have a better angle of the handicap side.
Smith gets 1. So Kadawa Smith with an open frame in the fifth. There you have 93.
Vinny makes the spare.
37 in the third, 42 with their handicap. So with the girls having a string of 3 strikes in a row, they have the lead in the handicap match. Rusty gets that one a little bit wide. Comes in, leaves a 6 count. 3, 5, 6, 10. Ryan did not like that one off his hand. Looked like it was inside target. So he goes 1, 2, 8, 10. So now it'll be Andrew's turn to try to clean that up. Vinny picks up the spare. So 53 in the fourth, 58 with the handicap. So the girls have the lead in the match. Andrew tries to pick up the spare. And he does. 1, 2, 8, 10 conversion. Still a big shot there. So 96 in the fourth for them. With a strike here, they can have a 23-pin lead. Meanwhile, Lila came up high, left the 4-6, so Kira will try to get count. Schultz with a good shot, leaves a 10-pin. So he'll try to pick have Andrew try to pick up the spare. Again, you're watching the title match for today's PJBT, sponsored by Kegler's Pro Shop. Andrew picks up the spare. Kira gets 1, so 106 in the 5th for the girls.
That was a good try for Kira.
So a little window of opportunity here for Kadawa Smith. Primo can step up to get a strike back on the board. He comes in high, leaves a 3-pin. So now his partner will have to shoot the spare. Meanwhile, Lila, she comes in light. This is the head pin to the right. 1, 2, 4, 8. So Kira will have to pick up her spare. Mason makes the spare. So right now our scratch match, both have a spare in the 6th. Heading into the 7th, we got a 22 pin difference. Yeah, I had to do my math quick. 22 pins separate our two teams. Kira not able to convert. Back-to-back opens.
It says it at the bottom of the difference.
I know, but it's not adding it up right over there. That's
No.
what I have to watch. 2 pin for Primo. So the girls have 114 in the 7th. Opportunity for Rusty. Oh, and a good shot for Rusty.
That was a very good shot.
Leaves a 7-pin. So Vinny will try to pick up this spare for him. Mason picks up Primo's spare. So max score for Kadawa Smith at the moment, 222. Their opponent, Sash Schultz, can still shoot 250, kind of on a 230 pace. Vinny picks up the spare.
Yeah.
His partner, Rusty, steps right back up. And he gets a split, leaving the 410. So now Vinny will have to try to convert that. Ryan with a strike in the 7th to extend Sass and Schultz's lead. Vinny not able to convert, so 98 in the 7th, 103 with their handicap. So right now they trail by 11 plus whatever the girls get in the 7th frame. So they could be down by as much as 30 depending on what happens here in the 7th. Scratch side starts the 8th. Andrew with a strike. Lila comes in high, 3-pin. Sass Schultz in the driver's seat of the match. They can still shoot, with one miss, they can still shoot 230 and shut their opponents out. So really important, Kadawa and Smith to strike here. And Primo comes in light and leaves almost an impossible spare of the 8-10. Kira picks up the spare for the girls.
Lila gets 9. Primo leaves a 10-pin and gets 9. Kira makes the spare for her team.
Keeps them in the lead.
And they're at 143.
Yeah, Yeah, so max score right now for Kadawa Smith can only be 189. So in theory, one more strike will officially lock up the match for Sass and Schultz.
Rusty gets 8. Ryan leaves
10
it. 10 pin.
And that'll pretty much, that 9 count locks it up. Andrew Sass and Ryan Schultz will be our Scratch Division champions for today. Now the handicap match both has a spare in the 8th, so 30 pins separate our two teams. Let's see what Rusty can do here. Rusty gets a strike, so big shot for Rusty there in the 9th. That'll certainly help. Andrew picks up the spare.
Lila gets a strike in the 9th. Ryan gets a strike for the first ball in the 10th. Andrew gets 7.
Kira, first ball of the 10th. She gets a strike, and that will lock it up for the girls. They will be higher than 180, and Lila Yelensky and Kira Stahura will take home the handicap division title today.
Ryan unable to convert the spare, but they end with 223. Lila gets 9. Primo Messenger comes across and takes out the 10 for the first ball in the 10th.
So ironically, our handicap side will finish the way they started. They were in this order to going into the finals.
Kira makes the spare, so they will end with a 202. Mason gets 9. Vinny gets 4. Primo unable to convert the spare, and they finish with a 178. So 223 to 178 in the scratch, and 202 to 149 in your handicap side. We'll be back with some awards.
Just a reminder to our bowling fans, we don't do final interviews, but we will wrap up the show after doing awards.
Okay, bowling fans, that concludes today's PJBT here at Strike Zone Alleys in Pottsville, PA, sponsored by Kegler's Pro Shop. Our runner-up finishers in the scratch division, the team receiving a $200 scholarship, 100 per bowler, and their runner-up awards goes to Primo Cadavas and Mason Smith. Our runner-up finishers in the handicap division, also receiving a team $200 scholarship, 100 per bowler, and their runner-up awards goes to Rusty Crown and Vinny Pacillo. All right, now it is time to crown our champions in the scratch division, receiving a $400 scholarship, 200 per bowler, and the first place acrylic plaques go to Andrew Sass and Ryan Schultz. All right, and our winners in the handicap division, the team receiving a $400 scholarship, 200 per bowler, and the first place acrylic plaques goes to Lila Elensky and Kira Stahora. All right, bowling fans, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to join us next Sunday afternoon for the next PJBT event live on YouTube. We'll have the finals of our big three-person team tournament next Sunday, March the 3rd, from Clearview Lanes in Mount Joy. Don't forget to sign up online tonight for the discount entry fee at pjbtbowlingseries.com. Thank you, everyone.